Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Rama. Following is an excerpt from a group discussion we had this morning. I asked Dr. David Wolf about the impact of the theory of evolution on us as human society, and the answer that he gave me really moved me, and I thought to share it with all of you. And if you're interested, you can go and check out the whole lecture. It's right here. I'll see you there. Hare Krishna.
Ramachandra.
My question is, you already sort of extrapolated with that, but maybe you or the audience would like to extrapolate further on. What would you say is the effect collectively on us in our human experience, like accepting evolution and like siding with all these theories?
Okay, Ramachandra asking, what's the effect collectively on the human species of kind of accepting? I appreciate your question, because this is the new blind faith. This is the new religion. Right, evolution, life from matter, Big Bang. So this is the new blind faith religion that the herd of independent minds, it accepts, and then everyone else, accepts. So the effect is quite deep and powerful and devastating. Because, okay, sometimes Prabhupada, joking, would say, yes, maybe Darwin's grandfather was a monkey, but otherwise, no. Okay, because here's the thing, like say in personal growth or psychology, self-worth, you should believe in yourself, and self-esteem, like that. Well, here's the thing: how much self-esteem can we really have if essentially I'm a bag of stool? If essentially I'm a bag of blood and bones? How much self-esteem? If we take spirit out of it? If we take spirit out of it, and I'm just an automaton. It is said about modern psychology. First modern psychology lost its soul, then it lost its conscience, and now it's lost its mind altogether. If you look at the trends in hit psychology. So that, there's just this blind, random atoms colliding that led to this. So it leads to hopelessness, despair, and if we're taking the life out of life, and that we just came from some random chance molecules, atoms colliding, and we're just this bag of stool and pus, and that is my identity. We can make it flowery, but that's it. How much like self-worth can we really feel? Some of you have perhaps heard me quote a valedictorian at Harvard University in the 1980s. And this valedictorian is one he's chosen from the class to give the speech at graduation, like top student. So, so he started his speech, ladies and gentlemen, there is one experience that all of us graduates have had at this fine institution of higher learning. And that experience, ladies and gentlemen, is confusion. And then he went on and he said, the freedom of our day is the freedom to devote ourselves to any values that we choose on the mere condition that we don't believe them to be true. So he's talking about nihilism, and he's talking about, in other words, the idea of equality is because everything's reduced to meaningless nothing. And that's the idea. If you actually believe in some value, okay, then you're primitive. Then you're not a smart person. Because the idea again, if everything comes from nothing, we come from nothing. We're just a bag of chemicals. Then what's the basis for ethics? Let's say if I rearrange some chemicals and they call it murder, it's just some rearranged chemicals. What's the basis for ethics? What's the basis for purpose? What's the basis for meaning? In the valedictorian, before they got the king and pulled him off the stage, he was exposing that in the so-called educated society, if one actually stands on some values absolutely, then that's derided. That's degraded. So these are effects of these of these conjectures that are based not just on removing God, but on removing the consciousness of the person itself. The idea is consciousness is just life comes from matter. It's either consciousness is an illusion and there is no consciousness. That's what they're saying, or consciousness is an epiphenomenon of matter at a certain level of organization. Again, okay, then prove it. Go and combine matter and create a conscious entity. They've not done it. So these voidist theories, materialistic theories that take not just supreme consciousness, but even individual consciousness out of the picture. So they lead to a crisis in mental health. Crisis, they lead to all sorts of anarchy, voidism, despair.
Thank you so much for that. It was very enlightening.
Hare Krishna, thanks for your question.
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama.